we've been phoning you. Why is your phone switched off?
I heard the beginning. I heard the beginning of the show. I thought, yeah, it's going all right. They're there and stuff. Turned it off.
You turned it off?
No, I put a tape in though, because even though I'm ill, I'm still showing an interest in it.
Well, you're not, if you're watching football and shaking.
Yeah, well, I'll listen back to it later, so I hope you haven't been dissing me.
No.
Right?
Definitely not.
Don't listen back to it, it's not worth it, but we haven't been dissing you, no.
And I've just been watching, a bit of football, right?
Did you watch the Monkey programme last night? You told us to watch the Monkey programme. We all stayed and watched the Monkey programme.
Alright, wasn't it?
What's rubbish, wasn't it? Obviously not half chimp, half human.
I mean, they missed out a lot of the interesting bits.
They didn't have any interesting bits. Those are bits that you made up to make it more interesting.
The bits that I told you about 3 months ago before they decided to make the programme.
Yeah.
What were the bits that you came up with?
Well, they missed out the bits about, you know, the zookeeper.
Right, there wasn't a zookeeper, yeah, go on.
Well, there was, but they left that bit out.
Well, okay, fine. And they left out the bit where it ran from there in 1975.
In terms of those that did research, they actually went and filmed it, you read it on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chances are you're the one with the facts wrong.
Yeah, I think they also left out the bit when it jumped over 3 double-decker buses on a motorbike.
On Evil Knievel's motorbike.
Yeah. So, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Not only do you not bother turning up, but you turn off the radio and start watching football.
Yeah, I turned it off, but I've recorded it. I'll listen back later and sort of...
Well, what good is that?
Sort of, I like to keep it in shape and that. I'll have a word next week.
Alright. If you receive any phone calls from people you don't know, we don't know anything about that. Instantly, we don't know why that is happening. That is just going to be a weird, spooky thing, so...
And don't bother telling the story about Men in Black 2 either, because I don't think people will be interested.
Actually, on the subject of Men in Black 2... What?
Have you seen that, Steve?
No, I haven't, Carl. Tell me about it.
You should see it.
Go on. Why?
Because there's this thing in it.
Go on. What, a stupid, bald Mancunian tosser?
No, weirder than that.
There isn't anything weirder than that.
Big eyes, it was gangly.
Keep talking.
And, you've got to see it, because you wouldn't believe how the likeness and that. You've got to get the film out tonight.
Right.
It's not as weird, it had a normal voice, right?
He's done you and he's not even here!
I'll tell you what, mate, it ain't worth coming in next week.
Oh, stay on the line, Carl. Play a record player. Kings of Leon, Molly's Chambers. What do you think of that, Carl?
Alright.
There's a surprise.
Another
insightful remark.
Steve is not a fan now. Not only does he know you've been slagging him off behind his back.
No, I wasn't slagging Steve. If you get it out on DVD tonight, you'll know I'm not slagging you off. It could be your brother.
I love the fact that it makes it worse, but he's thinking you're gonna go, oh, he wasn't slagging me off. It does look like me. I do think I'm an alien. I love the fact that you hope Steve will go, he's got a point. It's a spitting image. Yeah.
I am, seriously, Carl, I'm really angry. I'm so angry with you at the moment.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, I know, because I know what it's gonna be, and I'm just...
Why?
I'll tell you why I'm angry, because he doesn't do it in jest.
No, but what do you think it's gonna look like? What do you think this thing's gonna look like?
Gonna look ludicrous. It's not gonna look anything like me, but he's gonna, like, pretend it does. Go on, what? Go on.
No, it does look like you.
Yeah, of course it does. And you looked like the, Human Z.
Well...
I mean, to be honest, you did a bit, Carl. You walk like him, you're bold like him, you got a sort of gormless face like him. Any more?
I don't smoke. That does. I'm not arguing with you, I'm not well on that.
Oh, you're not well.
What exactly is wrong with you, you whinger?
Well, it's just, do you know, like I always tell you about the, restless leg syndrome I've got? It's like that, but all over.
So you're just shaking around the house?
I'm just, yeah.
What do you look like, Elvis? What are you doing? You're shaking around the house.
I'll tell you, with your bald hair, you probably look like an enormous vibrator.
Oh, God.
That's what you probably look like if you strip naked.
Oh, you'll have the Scottish widow coming round. Oh, dear.
That's, what's her name, by the way? I heard you talking about that. That's,
Amanda Lamb.
Amanda Lamb, who's in the Place in the Sun programme.
Is she actually a widow? Is she a Scottish widow?
Just,
Hoots, man, my husband's dead. Do you want any money and a bit of my clam?
Brilliant.
All right.
That's the sort of quality you've missed out on today. Well, anyway, you're going to be back next week. We need you back next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how do you know? Also, how did you know you were going to be ill today? Because you phoned and arranged this yesterday.
Convenient.
And I spoke to you yesterday and you didn't sound very ill.
I felt ropey yesterday.
You've got a bit of a bunged up nose.
Even though
I have a bit of a bunged up
even though I was
nose.
ill, I still sorted it out. Yeah?
I'm a little bit
Even though I
sweaty.
was
Paul,
ill,
sorting it out does not mean you phone up Sturgis and send her down.
That's not sorting it out. That's making things worse. Have you learnt nothing?
Thanks, Claire.
If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the
All right,
problem.
mate.
Yeah. Oh, my leg's a little bit achy.
Oh, wearing wet jeans.
Oh, I put wet jeans on again. My lasagna it was frozen.
Can you hear the venom and hatred in our voices today? We genuinely are upset and angry with you.
Yeah. Can't believe it. I cannot believe that I mean, oh.
Right, well, the thing is, we'll be back to normal next week, right? We've got Billy Elliot doing the film next week.
Right.
Any prizes?
Got some good stuff.
Have you got any films with Burt Reynolds in to give away on VHS?
And I'll see you then.
Great, we're looking forward to it already.
I'll see you later.
See you
Alright.
later. Hot heat, bandages, XFM, we're off, innit?
That's it, it's all over.
Yeah.
Back next week.
Yeah.
Thanks, Claire.
Bye.
Total
Yeah.
respect.
Yeah,
Yes.
nice
Keep it real.
one. See ya.
There's no place to escape to. This is the last podcast. On the left. From your grave. That's when the cannibalism started. What was that?
That is fun. Okay, that's Marcus, and then I am Ben, and then the guy over here to my left. He's been a real doozy if I've got to deal with this morning.
What are you talking about? My name is Good Times Jimmy Dean Sausage Henry Zabrowski.
Jimmy Dean Sausage, how'd
In
you get
order
that
to
nickname?
get through your day, it's very important to start off every single day with a big, piping hot, saturated, fat-loaded Jimmy Dean sausage. The best part about it, what we're doing with our new sausages, I don't know
What's
if
that?
you've been aware of what we're doing over at Jimmy Dean.
I'm not.
What we've been doing is we've been supplying our new sausages with injections of hot liquid fat, right?
Really?
So that you don't have to chew it.
And it gives it that buttery taste.
What it does is it allows you to, for maximum, like, we're all busy in the morning.
Sure.
We're all trying, you're making a cup of coffee, you're trying to get ready, you gotta go
I gotta go to school, Dad. I gotta go to school.
He's just like, God damn it, Mr. Johnson is gonna have my fucking ass this morning.
Mr. Johnson's a
You
terrible
know,
boss.
he just got time to make breakfast.
That's right.
So he takes one of Jimmy Dean's new, what we like to call liquid sausages.
Liquid sausage.
And when it comes is in a little pump, and you just go, you like pump it a couple times in your mouth, and it's the fat equivalent of a big Jimmy Dean sausage, and it just slides into your pancreas.
What if? Wow. That sounds amazing, man.
It's pretty good.
Definitely.
I am just fiddling with these headphones.
Yeah, indeed.
I can't hear anything.
All right. Well, speaking of Jimmy Dean sausage and overall families and how Jimmy Dean sausages have helped families, today we're going to talk about families that don't help people. We're going to talk about families that murder individuals.
They rape each other as well.
A lot of anal bleeding, things like that.
I understand that this is a very touchy political climate for the rape topic.
Sure.
As we are going on to. But I'm just going to straight up say the very top of this. We're going to be up to our eyeballs in rape today.
But no one will be upset. No
it's gonna
bloggers will be upset because most of the victims of the rape that we'll be discussing, men.
Yeah.
Mostly young men and boys.
They'll
So-
be fine with it.
They'll be fine
love
with
it.
Yeah. I mean, except for all of the ones I'm going to be talking about. All
Okay.
women.
Okay, well that's different. You gotta even it out. It's affirmative action.
This all starts from an amazing current events news that happened. We wanted to cover it last week when it first broke out. We just started recording.
What happened?
I don't know.
You've changed.
Jesus Christ! I'm half leprechaun this morning. I just need a clean slate on the brain.
Yeah.
I mean, just talking about I need electroshock therapy.
Oh, yeah.
Like MK Ultra
yeah.
on myself.
That would
so
be
I don't
nice.
remember anything.
Well, I
but
think you could probably find some acid and some drugs, and you could find a way to tie yourself up for a weekend and just lose your
At the same
mind.
time, though, every time I tie myself up, I just let myself go.
Right.
I'm just not disciplined.
That's why you got to get me to tie you up.
Well,
That'll be
you
big.
know.
Of course, heading Henry's referring to the Cleveland situation, what happened there with that the Castro family, or mostly the Castro man, because
the steamer came in Cleveland,
and it was indeed a shitstorm over there in Cleveland. So we had these sort of stories on the mind. We can start with the Castro story.
I think we have to,
or we can just sort of intersperse it throughout. It doesn't matter.
What I was hoping is that as time passed this last week, that we'd get all the juicy shit. I wanted to hear from the victims. I wanted to hear Castro just being like, "They ask for it. They make me do." I thought that he was going to be like that.
That's exactly what
just
it
like
sounds
they
like.
come and they put the dog leash on themselves, and I was like, "Hey, what girl? Why you blame Mexican?"
I don't even know if he is Mexican.
What is his race?
I don't know. I'm not
Castro's
Cuban. Let's go
right?
Cuban.
Yeah.
Is he? No, you're just saying that because you know one famous Castro.
Well, yeah, I mean, it helps. If you're a Kennedy, you're Irish, and if you're a Castro, you're Cuban.
What was Sammy Sosa?
Cuban.
Yeah. I thought he was Dominican.
I don't know.
Is his middle name Castro?
That's why I thought he was Cuban. Indeed. But really not too many gruesome details have emerged.
No
from this Cleveland
fun
story.
shit.
No, well, some would argue horrific.
I'm saying.
Some would argue things you don't want to hear around the dinner table.
Juicy
or as Henry calls
tidbits.
them, fun, juicy tidbits.
Yeah. I mean, there are some tidbits coming out about, like, Castro's life. Like, one of his friend Tito said.
What was
I just don't. I cannot trust what Tito says.
No.
Tito's a guy that he used to play in a band with, because I don't know if you guys know this, but Castro was one fantastic bass player.
Yes,
He loves the
played.
salsa.
He made beautiful Mexican, Cuban, Spanish. He made beautiful Spanish music.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. And Tito's...
You know, I gotta get home. I got 3 girls up in my. No, never. I got some rice cooking.
I gotta practice my bass.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
And he slowly backs out.
Don't listen. Don't listen to it. I got this no bass sound that goes like this.
Oh my! I just realized that it's like, you know, if you're kidnapped by a member of a band, it's like at least be kidnapped by the lead singer or by the main
cool
guitar
one.
player who can put you to sleep with some
Not
nice
the
licks or a nice
the
song.
lazy bassist.
Bum, 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 bum. It's like, how can you fall asleep to that? I mean, God forbid, at least he wasn't a percussionist or something. That would have been far more torturous. But if you have to be kidnapped by a band member, at least, please God, lead guitar.
Well, this man was a classic bassist. Did not do well with
Classically trained?
No, classic as in he doesn't do well with the ladies and never gets laid.
But I thought that was the opposite. I thought women always slept with the bassist.
Not usually.
No, not usually.
No.
Usually.
That's why I play the flute.
Yes.
Bassists get kicked to the side because us drummers, they like that primal animal instinct.
But what about a job?
They hate a man with a job.
God, jobs. You ever known a drummer with a job?
I can't
I don't know. I haven't had a job in 4 years.
I can't get a job. I'm too busy making all this noise.
But here's what Tito said. When we used to go performing, he was alone all the time. He wanted to always see if he could go out and dance with the women, strangers. So he would go pick somebody and say, "Want to dance?" Many, many times, they would say no.
Absolutely not. You're disgusting.
Wait a second. Is this the Ben Kissel story?
Oh, I like it. I
He
like
kept going, "I want to dance, I want to dance." Mostly every time he would come back very mad because they didn't want to dance with him.
Nobody
And many
wants to
times-
dance with me. They don't know. I take them, I tie them with dog leash, tie them to the
Castro.
tree. What was that? What was that, Ariel? Nothing.
You just smell a little bad
I
today.
take you got problem? You bring a mailman, you don't bring me my delivery on time, and I go take him, I tie him with dog leash to the tree, and I take him and I show him how I tie him to the dog leash.
Tuesdays, huh? Tuesdays. I'm right there with you. I never understand what he's saying. Do you guys ever think that he might have 3 girls in his attic? I'm not gonna follow
I don't know,
up
but
on
he
this.
is always with the alone, never with the dancing of women.
He is always.
Thank you,
I do
Tito.
like the term. He was always with the alone, as if the actual person that he's with does not exist. It is the alone.
He was also a school bus driver for a time.
Good.
What's the screening test for
There
that?
is
By
none.
the way,
They just let anybody. I could just
All right,
wander into a. They said I've got like
okay, come on in.
Spider-Man underwear on. They can't see.
Come on in. We're hiring new bus drivers. So you just look them up and down, and then stop at the feet. If they have feet, they're hired. Okay, so just let's streamline it here, people.
What's most important with driving a bus, right? You got to have a butt to put in a chair, right? And you need feet.
Does he
to
have a
operate
butt? Yes, I do see a butt. Does he have some hands? He's got one hand. Well, that'll work just fine because he's a cool bus driver.
The other hand is gripping onto a giant metal hook.
That'll scare the kids. He's hired.
Got the dog leash. I wrap the dog leash around the steering wheel and then a driver. I tell you, they don't tell me when they late to school. I take them, I tie them to tree with dog leash.
Did you understand a word that he said? I get a feeling he has like 3 girls up in his attic. I just hire him. I don't know.
Well, he was fired for being a bus driver after 3 incidents. One, he left a child on a school bus.
One of the things he can't do.
That's like
just one of
that's
them.
like the top
That's number
major
one.
requirements of being a bus driver.
Drop off the
Is
kid.
deliver the children.
Right.
Yeah. 2, he made an illegal U-turn during rush hour traffic with a busload of students.
With a bus.
Oh, well, that's fine. They're screaming and shit. You just make decisions.
That's a tough turn
Yeah,
to
it's
make
fucking
with the
horrible.
bus.
And then finally, the last straw was he used the bus to do grocery shopping.
How many groceries was he getting?
They all come and they complain when I take the school bus to go. I got my lettuce and I got my eggs for the people I've got tied to my dog leash in the back of my tree. Those buses come to me. I will tie them with dog leash to tree if they tell me one more time I can't take school bus to go grocery shopping.
I mean, if you're working at the supermarket, don't you notice at some point this Castro character is rolling up to the supermarket with a bus, filling it up with like enough food for 4, but you know he lives alone because no human being could love him.
He's taking the
that a
school
red
bus to
flag
the
over
grocery store. I just think that's a red flag.
Yeah, over the past decade, didn't they just pick up on that? Be like, he's not morbidly obese.
There are
Who's
so
eating all this food?
many fucking retarded facts tied to this case. There's everybody just let it happen.
Are we talking about
Everybody just let it happen. No one stopped him. He was a moron. He was
an
a
idiot.
very when they show the pictures of the house and stuff, it's just like it couldn't be more obvious. He boarded up all the windows.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
wouldn't let you pass the kitchen. All his stupid brothers come in there just like,
When you go to Aria's house, you're not allowed to go into the kitchen, and we would just sit and drink in the living room, and he'd play music.
And
He
those
would-
are
he
his
would just-
Hasidic Jewish Mexican brothers? Is that?
But they
accent?
would just sit in the living room while he was just like, no, don't listen to those sounds and just play like,
Yeah.
ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And thank God Spanish music has a lot of like,
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. Out of all the professions, like being a bus driver is the only profession where you really can't take the company car. You know, like that's just for
That's
work.
really-
that's
that's
only
for
for
work.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And most of the time, he wouldn't. Here is what his son says. He never let anybody
I
in
just
his
love
house.
the idea of them
Nobody.
listening to the salsa. Ah! What was that? Oh, it's a new rendition, man. This is, Santana is really going crazy these days. It's my only Mexican music reference.
I've never heard this version of Oye Como Va before. It's refreshing. His son said he never let anybody in his house. Nobody. His mother, his father, my father, his own mother. If she went there, she would call from outside the house and say she was out front. My other uncle
flag.
Pedro would ride his bike there, but nobody ever went into that house.
and then retarded ABC News went over this week about all the different times. They're like, well, in 10 years, the cable company would have come there over 15 times.
Yeah.
And the oil company would have come over 40 times. And but like both of them were being like, we do stuff outside the house, we don't look inside the house. And they're just like, I just feel like there's no noises coming from the house. There's nobody back there in the basement for 10 years going like, help, like every hour on the hour for 10 years. If I was trapped in a basement, this is how much noise I make on a podcast. This is how much noise I make in a voluntary situation. I feel like if you tied me up in a basement, I'm just gonna go, ah!
Forever.
Well, he was. I mean,
Like the
he
screaming. What's that? The screaming bird.
You'll never like raping me. That is my goal. My goal is that if you're gonna rape me, I'm gonna make it bad for you. I'm gonna be like, your dick's too small, you fucking prick. yeah, you're raping me. Yeah, I love it. I like it.
You might end up with one of those Black Dahlia smiles at the end of that.
I mean, he was an idiot, but he was a cruel motherfucker. I mean, the best, I think the best intimidation tactic that he used to keep them from doing that too much was the old bait and switch he used to do, where he would pretend that he would leave the house, and then he would come back super quick, and if there was anything out of place, or if he heard them screaming or anything like that, severely beat the fuck out of them and rape them, and
I mean, that's where he was really bad.
whatnot. And he also kept all, and you know, and we were talking, me and Kiss were talking the other day about how the women would never, how they never bonded together to escape. He kept them in 3 separate places. They were very rarely in the same place. At
They
the
got
same
together
time.
every now and again, though, because when
Every now and
when
again.
the cops came in to rescue them, all 3 of them were loose. So I feel like
What happened in the end? We just don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know how
that
they
chick just
finally got
managed
out.
to run out of there. I just feel like it took them.
I tell you what, though,
10
she
years.
booked it and she left those other 2 girls behind.
She
just,
just
like,
left behind, but 2 dead.
She literally ran out of the house and was just like, "I'm in a